It's a confusing night for Stefan. He arrived back in New Salem from Fletcher about an hour or two ago. He's been walking, keeping the shadows from where Gloria's apartment is, in the North Residential District, or Northern Residential area, just off downtown. He's taking a cab across the city into the business district around Shell Beach, sending off a few text messages to Axel. He needs to meet. He needs to talk. He needs to discuss things happenings this evening. He's still confused. Doesn't understand. He wants to believe that the voice belonged to Celine, but he's uncertain. He doesn't know who Malachi is. He doesn't know who Adam is. These names are not familiar to him. After about an hour, gets no response from Axel. Wonders if anything's happened or what's happened. He walks along the shoreline, a path between Shell Beach towards the northern docklands. He's hesitant to make it a habit to go where he's going. But, okay, unbeknownst to him. Right. As Stefan walks through the night, it's autumn evening, the large wisp of clouds moving across the sky in a very visually apparent way. Obscuring and uncovering the moon. Realizes 1 a.m. comes really quick. He didn't realize it had been this long. As he heads further down the beach, or further down the path along the beach, towards the beginning of the northern docklands.
Axel at this point is busying himself. Things have been a little strenuous, as you can imagine. It's been that way. Everything between having his phone waterlogged after some exciting events involving a would-be assassin, and complete meltdowns brought about afterwards from what you can only assume is the object, this artifact buried in the foundations of the Obsidian shore. In fact, that's where Axel is now. Serving drinks, no less. Doing what he can. He's taking a look at this pile of resumes dropped by would-be bartenders and servers. A lot of people looking for work. And Axel's going to need some help keeping this place up. He's been doing the finances in his head, but he hasn't had time to focus on it. Instead, he's been just slinging drinks, trying to end up keeping up with the clientele, trying to end up bringing them back, giving them a reason to relax. Just to let you know, Jeff, I can actually hear myself through your headset right now. Yeah. Sorry about that. I can still do it. Okay, thank you. Yeah, he should mostly just been have focused on keeping busy. That's what keeps you sane. Just putting one foot in front of the other, trying to end up getting through night to night, maybe building something a little bit more. If you're just that little bit better off than you were on the previous night, you're doing well. And after all, you have eternity to practice it, don't you? Yeah. Well, at this point, Axel just looks at the clock. It's an hour till the last call. Then it's cleanup. That wonderful, calming routine. Many others would probably find it annoying. Him, he finds it soothing. It's putting everything in its place, cultivating it, much like he cultivates these relationships with his, patrons, shall we say. Still, it sucks to be kind of cut off for time being. I'll have to end up getting a phone very soon, contact a few people. Maybe it's not all bad. Maybe it's good that he finally has something to reset. Too many people got really comfortable contacting him. Some people just seem to be doing so without thinking about it. And so there he is. Lost in his own head, but still keeping on.
As Axel goes about his night running his business on the northern docks, another patron comes in, heads slightly down, kind of like he's shrugging off the autumn chill, and it has been getting a bit colder. It's not exactly warm tonight. Just to be fair, I'll make a manipulation performance without performance. You can oppose that with a perception alertness.
Figured that was the rule.
Yeah. So 2 to 4. There's. He's not just keeping his head down for no reason, but you can't tell under the obscurement of the hood of the hooded sweatshirt being up. You can't tell who it is, but there's more to it than that. Figures dress like day-to-day jeans, hoodie. Shoes are like trainers.
Axel at this point makes note of it, but so long as he's not a troublemaker, it should be all well. Who knows? It's mostly him keeping busy and keeping an eye on any potential troublemakers. There usually isn't in this particular point, but let's give it a 7 plus. No, nobody's making trouble. It's actually an absurdly calm night, actually.
The hooded man walks up to the bar towards the end, looking around a little bit. It's still down about. Um, uh, what you got on the whiskey? And that previous roll you made, along with my previous roll, is going to stick for this. He tries to obscure the accent, but there's something in it that sounds very familiar, like really familiar.
Yeah, I think Axel is. He's been around Stefan long enough to be able to pick this out like nobody's business.
Mm-hmm.
Depends what you're looking for. I mean, we end up here keeping Captain Morgan's in the well if you prefer it spiced dark or white, but keep top shelf on the back. Premium brand liquors and all that sort. Depends on what you're looking for. Looking for flavor, I'd end up recommending a press personally. But we can always end up doing that with a bit of a lime twist.
Something with flavor. That would do it.
Yeah. Axel just decides to play dumb for a minute, and he pours ice and ends up deciding to end up using some of the well liquor. There's no point in upselling for Stefan. It's more of a case of keeping up appearances, and he can appreciate that. Not to say he's going to make it on the house. It is eating into his business, but afterwards he raises the glass and offers it over, sliding it here to the bar with the napkin underneath it.
Figure takes it, slides over $12.
Appreciate
it's like he knows the price plus the tip of. It's like he knows the price of this at around $8 with a $4 tip.
Appreciate it, Brian. Stick around. He
nods his head as he brings the glass up, his hood still down. Because of the way, he's holding the glass like this, and because the hood is still obscuring, so you haven't been able to visually ID. It appears to be drinking it.
Axel continues throughout his night if he's not interrupted by this figure.
No, he just sits there, sipping the drink. Make a perception alertness roll. See if you notice something. Well, there's a chance.
Oh, there's a very, very, very good chance.
Oh yeah. Hey, look, is that a pimple on the moon? No, that's a pimple on someone's ass. The level of the glass has not changed, but it would take like a really keen eye to notice that because of the way he's going about his business.
Well, this is Axel's home turf. He knows how these things work. Nevertheless, all that's doing is confirming what he already believes. Not going to call him out on it just yet. Still, as he progresses through his night, he eventually ends up making it to last call. He starts ushering people outside. Few, it's particularly the barflies who want to end up sticking around. Like, no, we can do one more. Like, yeah, sorry to say it, yeah, Brian, you're gonna have to end up moving along. I'm seeing you tomorrow, of course. If you end up carrying it, doing so, there's just this charm he's forcing about.
At some point, do you turn your back on him?
Of course.
Okay. No, it's absolutely fair. Absolutely fair. Okay. Give me a perception awareness, and I'm actually going to have to make my like an Op 2 roll. Diff 7. No, wait. Hardwood
nope.
floors, diff 8. Diff 8.
Is this because you are doing it in front of people?
Well, because you have a you have a suspicion of who it is, so you're aware. And yeah, the last one ignore because I accidentally put 8 dice when it's supposed to be 7 or 6. I'm sorry. So yeah, ignore the last 2. My apologies. Oh wait, no, I said diff 8 because they're hardwood floors.
And does all specs come into effect for this?
Let's see. Wait, you're what? Auspex 1, right?
Yeah. Which can still increase. This is a perception roll, so it does increase that.
It won't decrease it because you're Auspex 1 versus Obfuscate 2. But the reason you get the roll is because you're aware something's not right. Yeah. So your difficulty
and I believe
would be
that,
like 8.
Yeah, and I believe
7 or 8.
I'm in that particular 7 or 8.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it would be flat 6.
Well, we can make it a flat 6. Okay. So
no, if you want to pass it, you pass it. I'm not up for debating the rules right now.
Okay. You don't see anything. There's one less patron than on your last count, and you kind of look around. And you realize the person sitting at the hooded figure at the end of the. No, he had to have gone out. He had to have left. He walked off when you were talking with someone outside.
Probably. Axel is pushing people out, not aggressively, but using his stature and demeanor to end up making sure that everybody ends up getting out, go home safe, call a cab, don't drink and drive. It's at that point he starts turning out the outside lights, the sign, starts locking up behind, letting the steel shutters starting to lower down once he's convinced he's alone.
Once you double check the front door, it's locked, you lower the blinds, start turning out the lights. It's when you hear a good evening, Axel. And you see in the corner of the room, sitting between the large mural and the sidewall, Stefan.
Yeah. He turns to face this voice, this familiar tone. If you're going to end up trying to pass as an American, you might want to just focus on one accident rather than doing them all at once.
It is not easy to lose something that was ingrained, even over here.
Time's almost up, if I recall.
That is why I had to go somewhere else. I figured here would be better than any.
I wasn't aware that my little chunk of the city was all of a sudden free for everybody to start walking in. It's getting to that point where it's starting to get annoying.
I have not told anyone.
Don't worry about it. Now.
I apologize for this, but I had to keep a low profile. Given Gideon's proclamation and all.
Yeah, well, it still stands right now. So why'd you end up deciding to come over here?
is. I'm confused.
Confused.
I did go to Fletcher. 2 days left. Now 1 day. Well, just about. Had an interesting experience in the woodlands outside of the small town. Familiar voice. And an odd bird.
An odd bird.
Well, animals. Animals don't stick around us. You know that.
Yeah, I got that. Almost got mauled by a dog for it.
This one did. Curious animal.
Well, that may be, but are you sure the stress wasn't getting to you?
No.
Do you have any way to be sure this wasn't an episode?
I'm positive. I was in my right mind.
We're never in our right mind, Stefan. That's part of the. That's part of the
I was at least somewhat lucid. Lucid enough to know.
Yeah, we got this.
The voice I heard in the clearing, the odd fog and the white flowers. Red flowers intermixed with some. But the voice that stuck out. It's not the first time I've felt like I was hearing someone without hearing someone.
Well, let me be honest with you, Stefan, right now. I can tell you exactly what Gideon would tell you if this is what you wanted to tell him.
That's the problem. I can't tell Gideon directly.
So why tell him anything at all? Don't you? Why are you wasting your time here? Is she back in New Salem? Is Lothario here?
That's the thing. I did not find him directly. The voice that I conversed with in the forest. It was odd. It sounded familiar, but I don't know if it was who I think it was. I mean, the voice belonging to. But I was asked who sent me. And the voice I conversed with, even though it sounded familiar, as I headed back towards the car.
Stefan, you're going to need to start making sense pretty quick. I follow you a fair way, but you've just lost me. That's right. You're in the woods. You see some animals that are getting a little too friendly, potentially humping your leg, and you decided that this voice might be something.
The voice, whoever it belonged to, did not seem to recognize the names that I gave it of people that I know. People who might have sent me on this certainly did not recognize the name Gideon, even though by the end of my time outside the Fletcher, it seemed so familiar and yet still alien. Beginning to doubt.
So what you're telling me is that you're not even one step closer towards it. You're here to pack up your bags and head out before Gideon finds you. So are you asking me to forward an apology?
Why would I give an apology? one of us threatens the existence of another, why would I give an apology? Why would I give away my position when it is so much easier to make a clean break if I do it otherwise? No, no, no. I don't know if I'm closer. That's the thing. But the names that I was given, I did not recognize them. Malachi and Adam.
I don't know Malachi, but Adam, I think I know.
The voice wanted me to relay a message to this Adam, whoever he is. The voice was certain of one thing: our existence. The word Malkavian sounded familiar to it. I did not see where the voice was coming from.
Alright. So let me see if I can get this straight. You're supposed to talk to Adam and this Malkir?
Malachi, whoever that is.
Malachi. Alright.
At least one of them.
Well, there's a lot of Adams in the city, but there's only one I know that would not have any particular link, and you're talking about Selena's brother, aren't you?
I am not sure. If that is the case, that is the case.
Okay, let me give you a rundown. Maybe you haven't been paying attention to the bloodline just yet. Selena has two brothers. You've already met Lothario. But you're telling me you don't remember Adam?
I have never met him. And nobody is open or straightforward with me. Which is why I have to gain knowledge the way I do.
Yeah, great. I'll be straightforward with you when I can. So what if we can arrange something with Adam?
The entity or voice that I spoke to, well, wanted me to relay a message that it wishes to speak with this Adam.
Stefan, we're already missing 2 out of 3. And then the third is being requested to go out and see what's going on. And you can understand I'm a little hesitant here.
You think I am not hesitant or afraid myself? My potential existence is on the line. There is no telling what Gideon meant, whether it is simple banishment from the city as a whole for eternity, or, well, the other more permanent solution. One of which I could live with, the other, no. I'm not going to deny that I gave Celine the information that led to her leaving the city, but you have to understand she deserved to know. If we do not tell our primogen, then how are they supposed to be able to... If we do not tell our primogen things that they do not know, that only we do, then how are they supposed to make an informed decision to keep everything running smooth?
And what happens when that informed decision eventually leads to you being thrown under the bus and turned to a fine paste? Is that what's going on here? Because look, what do you want me to do specifically? You want me to get a hold of Adam, tell him to talk to you, tell him to go to Fletcher? What do you want me to do?
That is precisely what I need. And I am not willing to just send someone there. I will accompany him to the same clearing that I found. As a show of good faith.
Alright.
And to show Gideon that I am worth something. If nothing more, my word.
Alright. Because this involves family. I'll give the word, but I'm not making any promises. I'm not going to try and force him. If he says no, I'm not even going to push it. I'm relaying a message. I'm not here to barter on your behalf.
No. One way or another, I don't believe I have failed, even if Gideon does not believe it. But I do not deserve to have my existence ended over it. I did my duty.
No, none of us deserve this, okay? None of us deserved to get dragged into this in the first place. I don't think I've run into anyone yet who ended up saying, can you turn me? I would make things so much better for me. I would like to stop thinking of my friends and family as anything other than food, I'd like to... You get what I'm getting at. And the fact of the matter is, Stefan, as soon as you got dragged in, things weren't going to be fair. Trust me, I'm getting a very clear inclination lately on how unfair shit gets. But we deal. At the end of the day, Stefan, you're here trying to end up doing the right thing as best you know how. I'm willing to help you out on that. I'm not going to drag your feet over the coals for it. But that's got to be Adam's decision, if this is the right Adam to begin with. You know how popular of a name that is?
Quite. It's quite a common name.
So what am I supposed to tell him to convince him that he's the one that this voice is requesting?
There is...
Why is he heading up to that clearing?
There is good news to be discussed.
Good news.
Very good news. Yeah, that is what I was told. And it was also told to me that he would know what that meant.
All right. Any other information I need to know?
If I had it, I would give it.
All right. If that's the case, then I gotta get a new phone, start making the calls.
Something happened to yours?
Got a little waterlogged.
That explains why the text did not go through.
Shit happens, technology gets wet, you replace it, you throw out the old one, call it a day.
That is true.
Besides, gives me a chance to update my data plan and all that kind of stuff. Stay up to date with the current trends and all that. Yeah.
Also inform Adam that I don't expect him to take a leap of faith and go alone.
If there was one family member I would trust to make a leap of faith, it would be Adam. You know what he said the first time we talked? He's crying. Wiped his face. Showed his palms. Bloody. And his first comment was to laugh. He said, like Christ on the cross.
That does have some light-hearted mood feeling to it. Wow.
But one thing I want to keep clear. Understand
one thing that should be made clear is nobody trusts me, especially at this point, and because of what happened to Elysium. If Adam wishes to, well, come to someone so that I am not leading only him into something that he may or may not have apprehensions about, that is fine.
Oh, come on now, Stefan. He gets what he wants, and you still end up crying about it.
No. Just erring on the side of caution. I've made too many mistakes because I've followed a muse or passion. I'm tired of making mistakes.
Well, they expect to be exhausted by the end of the turn of the century. You're going to be making mistakes, Stefan. That's just kind of the nature of the business. And don't think you are possibly arrogant enough to think you won't. That's what we do. We make a mess. What we do is we try and clean it up. Or at least most of us make a half-hearted and good old college try attempt. But no. You want to know why they don't trust you? It has nothing to do with the scheming. It's nothing to do with the fact you hide from eyes. Very little to do with the fact you're an outsider. It has to do with the fact that you don't assert. You're easy to push. And you keep trying to end up pushing them back just enough to end up showing a weakness. But you never twisted it. You never made it into more. You never let people end up building up on it. You know, if somebody ends up pushing on you, you instead step back, they fall on their ass, but you keep pushing. You keep showing yourself as weak. And you're stronger than that, Stefan. You wouldn't have been brought in, you wouldn't have been given the blood if you didn't have that chance. But instead, look at what happened with Voltaire. Look at what happened with the meeting. Every single time, it was trying to end up building things up more than they could be, and then end up showing weakness because you failed on that point, rather than take what you can, lift it, build up from that. You told me to be the rock, Stefan. I took that to heart. I'm telling you right now, the more I watch, the more I'm looking at Kindred like fucking vultures. Second that they find something, they'll peck at it. They'll bite at it. They'll tear at it. They'll do whatever they gotta. But you take it. Not because you can, but because you don't really feel like you have much of a choice. And just feeling like that removes the options to fight back in the first place. You can't afford to be weak anymore.
I don't need to be reminded. I remember what Gideon said. He made
Yes, you do.
his disapproval.
Talk back to me! Not here. Every time I've ended up backing up your play, then went behind your back. I've never ended up talking double with you. If I had to end up here selling you something that wasn't entirely straight, it was for one reason and one reason only every time, and you know what that is. And yet, every time you start end up going like this, it's another excuse. And now you're running out of excuses, and you end up coming in with an attitude that ends up saying, "Oh, I already understand. I get it. You're a little ahead of the curve, okay? But 10 years might as well have been 10 hours at this point. And you keep talking down like as if we don't have understanding. I'm tired of it, all right? I'm tired of seeing you take this attitude, start talking to me like I don't know a goddamn thing. And then, every time I try and end up helping you out, say, no, pass it on.
That was
You
not
don't listen.
my meaning. That was not my meaning. I listened to what Gideon said.
But you won't listen to a word that I'm saying right now.
I have been listening to it. I have been nothing but a liability.
Did that word ever slip out? I said you're weak. I never said liability.
I did not say weak. I said the liability. I realize now, I don't know. I think my friend, Sire, brought me in. I think his reason was to tell me there is still family that I have. I was never a disappointment or liability when I was still alive. Never faltered helping out my mother to return all the help she gave me. I don't intend to be a failure. I made it through whatever adversities as an immigrant here. Made it through school, college. Did that the hard way. Now this is another learning curve. I don't intend to show weakness anymore. I don't want to let anyone down, and I don't want to be carried. And I don't want to be pushed around anymore. I've given you too good of advice, and I have not taken it myself. And I'm tired of feeling like a hypocrite. I'm not making excuses. This is me coming clean. And I am aware of where I am right now. And I am going to speak freely.
Right back.
You've stuck up for me, you've helped me out. I have not returned that favor, not really. At the same time, I have to err on the side of caution.
Of course you do, like every other fucking kindred.
I said caution, not paranoia. I give you information that, well, I give all of our clan and the city information that nobody else knows. The first piece of information I gave to Celine so long ago, so many months. She wanted to know the Broha numbers. It wasn't anyone else who got them, it was me. I even gave her names. Who do you think? Who else knew that? Who knew about that? Have you ever heard any mention? No. So, I have asked you for a favor. You have given me the best advice. You have used my own advice, or given my own advice back to me. I will do my best to. Well, I've got a lot of prayer ahead. I've got a lot of mental refocusing. I realize the mistake I made. I realize the position it put me in. Is there anything that I can do for you?
You want to end up getting down that road, Steph. It's really fucking simple. I'm going to do this because it involves family. Lothario, Celine, Adam, Gideon, you. Hell. I'll do it for Finch and him. I'll do it for Howard. I'll give you the fucking chance you're asking for. But that's it. As far as what I want, the things I need right now, the things I would ask for. No. God's not taking messages tonight. Still, I'm gonna head to the church very soon, as soon as I finish cleaning this up. You can leave out the side door, make your way, keep your head down. We'll see how this goes.
With that, Stefan gets up and walks to the side door, which I'm assuming what is kind of backish. Yeah. So he heads towards the back. Axel kind of points him in the right direction. And you end up hearing the door eventually open and then close. Nope. That's botch. You see him kind of walk across the street a few moments later, keeping the shadows head down, but you see him. Hood over his head. Walking, not dejected, not slouched over, but walking upright. Just like normal.